when you treat your customers as a relationship, you'll succeed in business. 38 years ago, my wife and I got married. We were stupid. We didn't do any pre-marriage counseling. I was a hell-raising, beer-drinking hillbilly. Good salesman, though, so I sold her. And about the time I started buying and selling real estate, I left that other thing, and I grew up in the real estate business. Mom and Dad were in the real estate business, so I thought I was going to flip this house, and that's back before there was cable TV to tell you how. I started buying houses and flipping them, and I got rich, starting from nothing. By the time I was 26 years old, I had about $4 million worth of real estate, a little over $1 million net worth, and I was making about $250,000 cash taxable income a year. That's $20,000 a month. I don't know what neighborhood you grew up in, but the neighborhood I grew up in, we called that rich. It was fun too, y'all. And that car you always wanted if you ever got some money, I want that car. Mine was a Jaguar. I wanted to get me a Jaguar because nobody in my old neighborhood could even spell Jaguar. It was exotic, you know. So I got me a Jaguar, man. Within 90 days, baby, I was a Jaguar. I am not here to tell you money will make you happy, because money will not make you happy. Money will make you more of what you already are. If you're unhappy and you get money, you will be unbelievably unhappy. If you're depressed and you get money, your depression will darken. If you're a jerk and you get money, you become a big jerk. If you're sweet and you're generous and you love giving and you get money, you become what we call a philanthropist. And you change entire communities, entire people sectors with what God has entrusted you with. You become more of what you already are when you get money. It doesn't fix your marriage. If you have a bad marriage, it'll make it worse. I didn't lie, I didn't commit fraud, I didn't do anything like that, but I was just stupid. How many of y'all ever done something dumb with money? How many of you didn't raise your hand, have a problem with lying? I'd borrowed too much money, and we were doing a lot of it on 90-day notes because we were flipping these houses, and our bank, our largest bank, got sold to another bank out of state. And the guy looks down and goes, there's a kid, 26 years old, owes us $1.2 million on 90-day notes. Never dreaming that anybody would be that way. Our second largest lender heard we were in trouble and called another $800,000, so we got $2 million due almost immediately, and it's all tied up in real estate. We spent the next 2.5 years of our life losing everything we owned. One year I made $250,000. The next year my taxable income was $6,000. Spent the whole year selling stuff trying to pay my bills because I was told you're supposed to pay your bills if you say you're going to. Turns out if you're too stupid, you can't do it, even if you want to. Because you paint yourself in the corner and you're gonna get paint on your feet. 2.5 years later, we were at the bottom. Our marriage is hanging on by a thread because the number one cause of divorce in North America today is money fights and money problems. We didn't get a divorce. Sharon said, I would have left, but I didn't have a car. We held on to each other, but sometimes it's just to get a better grip. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I remember standing in the shower with it so hot I could just barely stand there. And I would just stand there with a shower in my face and cry because I was so scared. 2,500 scriptures on how to handle possessions and money. Jesus talked in the parables more about money than he did love and grace combined. Actually, the surface of it is really when he was talking about money, he was talking about love and grace. The subtext under the parable is always that, but he uses money to get to the point so often. And that's kind of intriguing if you think that God chose to do that as a method of communication with us. And so we decided we're gonna learn how to handle money God's ways because we don't like being broke. I don't like sitting here with a finance degree and being broke. God gives us the dignity to make a choice to decide we're gonna change. I got a young guy working for me. I got about 900 people on the team, and a whole bunch of them are millennials. We love millennials at our place because there's only two kinds. They're awesome, and they'll charge the gates of hell. They're missional. They'll charge the gates of hell with a water pistol. They're incredible. I love millennials, and so we started handling money this way. We started doing these 5 things that I'm going to teach you this morning. If you do these 5 things 100% of the time, they work because they're from God. I didn't make them up. I stole them all from the Bible and your grandmother. They're called common sense. I just sold them better than anyone has ever sold them in America's history. That's all. That's all it is. Number 1, get on a budget. Jesus said, don't build a tower without first counting the cost, lest you get halfway up and you're unable to finish, and all who see you begin to mock you and say, this man began to build and was unable to finish. My friend John Maxwell says, a budget is people telling their money what to do instead of wondering where it went. My friend Zig Ziglar used to say, if you aim at nothing, you'll hit it every single time. It turns out winning at something is an intentional act. No one accidentally wins. You don't win with money accidentally. You're not going to win the lottery. You're not. You got to work like it all depends on you, pray like it all depends on God. It's a partnership we got with him. He says, you plant and I will bring the rain. You plant and I will bring the sun. If you manage money for a company called You Incorporated and you manage money for You Incorporated, the way you manage money for You, the talents where 3 men were given things to manage and 2 of them managed them well and 1 didn't. The 1 didn't, God took the money from him and gave it to the other 2 to manage because he didn't manage well. And you know what the scripture says? It says, when you are faithful in the little things, then I will give you more to manage. The second thing is get out of debt. Now, the Bible does not say that debt is a sin. The Bible does not say certainly that debt is a salvation issue. It is not. If you have American distress, you can still get into heaven. Jesus' blood is powerful enough to cover that level of stupidity. But 100% of the mentions of debt in Scripture are negative. There is no good debt in Scripture. The second thing is get out of debt. The borrower is slave to the lender. When you read about it, 100% of the messages are, it's a curse, you're a fool, you're a slave. 100% of the messages in Scripture, biblically speaking, debt is stupid. And so what happens is we go to school and we get us a little student loan. Got to have old Sally Mae in our life. And then we get a MasterCard. Borrower's slave to the lender, so we should get a master. And then we go buy a car we can't afford. We know we can't afford it because we have payments on it. And then we go buy a house we can't afford. And we look up 7 years into our brand new marriage, trying to live the same standard of living our parents were living, only it took them 35 years to get there. And we fast forward with debt into something we can't afford. We can't breathe and we're stressed out. All the money comes in, all the money goes out. And now all we do is think about how we're gonna make it to Friday. We make $85,000 a year and we don't have the money for food. And this is normal in America today. People come in our office, they look like this all the time. They're like, dude, can you get me out? Yeah, I can get you out. It's gonna hurt though. What do you mean? We're gonna have to amputate the Tahoe. You're gonna have to do things where you quit caring what other people think. You're gonna have to quit spending money you don't have to buy stuff you can't afford with money you don't have to impress people you don't even really like. You have to reset your value system, Instagram breath. Watching other people's highlight reel and thinking that should be your life. Comparison will kill you. So we made the decision we're not borrowing money anymore.